Let me ask you something. Why is it that we know exactly what's good for us, but we resist it anyway? Why does exercising feel like a punishment? Learning something new seem like a burden? Or building healthy habits feel exhausting? Have you ever wondered why we struggle with things that are meant to improve our lives? You're not alone if you've ever felt this way. We all face this internal battle. But today, we're going to take a different approach. We're not just going to talk about the struggle. We're going to find the solution. We're going to uncover the mindset shift that will make growth not just easier, but something you look forward to. So stay with me, and let's figure this out together. Let me ask you a tough question. What's wrong with you? Now, I don't mean that in an attacking way. This is not about self-criticism. This is about asking yourself the hard questions, the kind of questions that can lead to breakthroughs. Because here's the thing. So many of us push ourselves to do things that we know are good for us. We drag ourselves to the gym, force ourselves to read, and push through our routines. But let's be real for a second. It doesn't always feel good, does it? We get stuck in this constant loop of trying to stay disciplined, trying to stick to our goals. But it feels like we're fighting against something, doesn't it? We're trying to be someone we're not yet, forcing ourselves into habits that don't feel right, making growth feel like a never-ending struggle. The issue isn't that the tasks are inherently bad. The problem is how we view them. We've been taught, conditioned even, to see these things. Exercising, learning, sticking to routines as burdens. We treat them like chores, something we have to do, instead of gifts that will shape our lives for the better. Now let's break this down further. Why is it that when we have the opportunity to improve, we shy away? Why is it that we resist things that will elevate us? Let's talk about exercise for a moment. How many times have you dragged yourself to the gym, telling yourself that you'll feel better afterward, but in the moment, it feels like a punishment? Why is that? The reality is we've trained ourselves to see it as something we must endure, rather than something that makes us stronger and more resilient. What if, instead of thinking, I have to work out, you thought, I get to work out? Imagine seeing your workout not as a task, but as an opportunity to improve, to feel better in your own skin, to be stronger and healthier. That shift in mindset changes everything. When you change your perspective about exercise, you begin to unlock a power that goes beyond the physical. You tap into mental resilience. You get to see each rep, each set, as an act of discipline, as a victory against your own doubts. You might walk into the gym feeling tired, maybe even defeated, but when you push through it, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. Exercise becomes a metaphor for life. When you push through the discomfort, that's where the growth happens. That's where you build strength that goes beyond muscle. It's the strength of character. Or think about learning. How many times have you had to push yourself to read or study? The resistance we feel comes from the idea that learning is a requirement, something that's forced upon us. But what if we started seeing learning as a journey of discovery? What if we viewed knowledge as a tool to unlock new worlds, new opportunities, new ways of thinking that could change our lives? Suddenly, learning becomes exciting. It becomes something to look forward to. Knowledge becomes a passport to a life you've never even dreamed of, taking you places that the uninformed can never go. Think of it like this. How many successful people do you know who are constantly learning? The likes of Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, or even someone like Elon Musk. They're always reading, growing, adapting. Why? Because they know that knowledge is power. It's not just about accumulating facts. It's about building your ability to think critically, solve problems, and innovate. When you make learning a habit, it doesn't feel like a task anymore. It becomes a thrilling adventure, one that's going to open doors you never imagined. And let's not forget our routines. We all have them. We know that sticking to a routine is essential for success. But let's be honest. How many times have you found yourself groaning at the thought of following a daily schedule, feeling trapped in the monotony of it all? Routines can feel constricting when we don't connect them to something larger than ourselves. But routines are not just about going through the motions. They're the building blocks of a successful life. Every time you wake up early to work on your goals, every time you stick to a habit you've committed to, you're laying the foundation for success. It's not about the task itself. It's about the person you're becoming in the process. The truth is, routines are like the structure of a house. At first, you might not see the beauty of the walls, the floor, the ceiling, but over time, you realize they are the framework that holds everything else in place. Without a strong structure, a house can't stand. Without solid routines, your life can't grow and evolve the way it needs to. Every small step you take, no matter how monotonous it may seem, is another brick in the foundation of your future success. Now, here's the kicker. These things you're forcing yourself to do, working out, learning, sticking to routines, are not random tasks that waste your time. These are the very building blocks of a better, more fulfilling life. They are the key to unlocking your full potential. Every time you show up for your workout, you're not just burning calories. You're building strength, both physically and mentally. Every time you read or learn, you're not just gaining knowledge, you're sharpening your mind, developing critical thinking, and preparing yourself to face life's challenges with wisdom. Every time you stick to a routine, you're not just passing time, you're developing discipline and control over your life, which are the keys to long-term success. But here's the tough truth. It's not going to be easy at first. There will be days when you don't want to show up, when the comfort of inaction is too tempting. But let me tell you something. That is exactly when growth happens. The magic happens when you push through those tough days, when you choose to show up even when it feels hard. And once you do that, something incredible happens. You start to notice the small wins. You notice the tiny shifts in your energy, your mindset, your body. That's when you realize that this journey is not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's about realizing that every small step you take brings you closer to becoming the person you want to be. You start feeling a sense of accomplishment that wasn't there before. Each day you commit to the process. Each day you push through the discomfort. You're building a new identity, a stronger, more disciplined version of yourself. You begin to see the power of your own consistency. The results may not be immediate, but they are inevitable. This is the law of compound growth. The more you invest in yourself, the greater the returns. Imagine this. What if you didn't have to force yourself to do these things? What if working out wasn't a chore, but something you enjoyed? What if learning wasn't a requirement, but a passion? What if your routine wasn't something you had to stick to, but something that empowered you to take control of your life? That's the mindset shift we're talking about. It's about reframing these activities, about shifting from resistance to excitement, from I have to I get to. When you make that shift, something remarkable happens. You begin to look forward to your day. You begin to look forward to your tasks. And most importantly, you begin to look forward to the person you are becoming. You begin to realize that these chores are actually investments in yourself. And once you realize this, it's no longer about forcing yourself. It's about choosing to become the best version of you one small step at a time. And let's not forget, growth doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in one grand gesture. It happens in the small moments, in the daily decisions you make. It happens in the small steps you take every single day. And over time, those steps add up to massive changes. One workout becomes 5. One book becomes 10. 1 week of consistency becomes a month, a year, a lifetime. So here's the real question. Are you willing to make that shift? Are you ready to stop seeing growth as a burden and start seeing it as a gift? Because once you make that shift, once you embrace the idea that growth is something to be excited about, you won't just change your life. You'll change the lives of everyone around you. Here's your challenge. Look at your routine today. What's one thing that you've been forcing yourself to do? Is it exercise? Is it learning? Is it sticking to your goals? How can you shift your mindset to see it as an opportunity rather than a chore? How can you make it something that excites you instead of something you dread? The best version of yourself is waiting on the other side of that mindset shift. And trust me, you're capable of becoming it. You just have to start today. You just have to take that first step. And I believe in you, because I know that once you start, there's no stopping you. So let's do this together. Let's embrace the process. Let's make growth something we look forward to. The journey begins now. Will you take that first step? If you've made it this far, drop a 100 in the comments. It shows you are part of the 1% that's improving every single day.